everyone. Welcome back to yet another episode of Charting Black from Blank. Gonna look at TIA today. TIA is a altcoin which has huge potential going into the next cycle. You know, the next 1 to 1.5 years. TIA can be a massive performer and is in a period of cooling down here, and obviously a lot of people are looking at this being a top performer, and for the past week or so has been underperforming compared to a lot of things. Like we can see even on the day it's down 1%. So going to be looking at TIA and potentially obviously doing a Chart for Blank episode on it and seeing if we can come to a conclusion of an area where we could look for a bounce and spot buys for that long term. So obviously new coin, only listed back in November. I'm fairly sure it's the same listing, so price action wise we don't have much to go back off the back of history wise, but obviously we can see that we've had this constant uptrend from TIA, and like I said, has been a top performer. And sort of something to notice is that most of the time after these highs are formed, we do see a pullback following a sweep of these highs eventually, right? You know, this swing highs are formed, and again here we formed this swing high from back in January and looks to have swept that and pulling back. So going to be looking at an area where I have interest in picking up TIA. Obviously on a large market wide pullback, anything sub $15 seems like a fantastic buy opportunity. Buying into this sort of a daily order block, maybe a sweep of this wick. If we did get that big market wide pullback at any point, right, 30% correction, anything sub $15 is a great opportunity to pick up a TIA spot. So on the the kind of closer time frame of things, we're looking at this whole daily demand zone here, right? You know, what we have is the demand that formed around the impulse that broke structure, right? We've obviously formed a new higher high here, right? We've broken structure, look to have swept this high. So first point of reversal is this daily fair value gap, which so far hasn't given much of a reaction, but I think TIA could, looking at the daily, at least drop down into this $18 region, right? And looking at structure wise and support SR wise, it seems like a nice place to bounce towards that $18, right? You know, an area that's previously held and then rejected, and you know, looking at that order block from the break, if we did retest this area this first time back, I think you'd want to see a nice push away. So daily wise, first area of reversal is definitely towards this $18 region, towards this previous sort of like SR level, and also this daily order block. So this is the daily fair value gap. We got to the 4 hour now.
Let me try something different. Let me pull my pants up a little bit and throw something a little on and go see what I can do over here on this side. What might happen if I try?
Momentum wise on the 4 hour, doesn't seem like they
That's all I did.
currently have any divergences at all. I think this is also a really nice place to bounce on the 4 hour time frame towards this $18 region. I would expect that if we did lose that $14 level on TIA now, if we sort of formed a deviation and lost that not $14, $18, we would go towards that $14 level. So the first place I'm looking for a bounce is definitely towards this 17.98, or we just call it 18 and round it up. This is basically next to 18, right? You take a long on a retest of this area, or if you're waiting for some sort of entry trigger and you would target new highs and price discovery. Something also thought I would check as well is the potential of just a trend, right? almost like a mean line, which we do have if we look at the line chart. You basically want TIA to just continue to hold this trend line, right? Similar trend to what Solana had back end of last year and sort of is looking at reclaiming now. This looks like a fantastic place to pick up some TIA towards that $18 region. Validation is if we just lose this trend, right, this uptrend. If we close below here, likely we look at filling a lot lower towards sub $15, which is a fantastic buy opportunity. Anything sub $15 on TIA. The last thing I want to look at is the VWAP values to see if we have any confluence with these levels, right? Prime monthly value are high here. So marking, you know, almost the same area. This $18 region, the prime monthly value are high sitting in this $18 region. And the prior weekly value are low as well. This is kind of a must-hold place for TIA, right? If we get that sweep. $18. Should really be looking at holding this $18, this previous week bow, this previous month value are high. You know, if we do get that deviation back inside that prime monthly value, you'll probably see a rotation back down towards 16 and even as low as 14, which is our, you know, higher time frame spot plan. I'd say on the lower time frame equally, if we didn't get this sweep, upside case, if you were looking to chase price action, watch for a flip of these highs here. Right, flip of these highs on TIA back above sort of 19.75. That would be your trigger to chase price a lot higher. Until then, I would wait for, you know, maybe we would get like a breakout and then flip sort of 19.7, and you can chase TIA for the targets higher. Until then, wait for that $18 region with your invalidation below there. And that pretty much sums it up for today's Strike from Blank episode. Actually, a really nice episode, and happy to come out with this setup. This is something I'm gonna definitely look at playing myself. Make sure to check out the links in the description and catch you in the next one.